Hey guys, thanks for joining me once again on my YouTube channel. We are at the moment, of course, staying home to stay safe, so I can't take you on an adventure with me, but I did want to create some content for you in the interim until I can travel again. And I did a recent poll on my Instagram. A lot of you requested that I film a video all about where I live. So this is my London studio. I live in Zone 1 in London, so I live in a very, very small space all by myself. And I've managed to create a space that I think is super homely and it fits all of my stuff in, even though it's teeny. So as per your request, this is going to be a flat tour video. I'm also going to talk to you about how to make rented accommodation feel more homely with just some simple tips and tricks, and also storage ideas because I have a lot of stuff in a very small space. So first up, here is a tour of my London studio. So I just want to take the time now to show you what the flat used to look like. So the main thing I did to make the space bigger is a very obvious thing, and that is to put in a lot of mirrors. So I have this tall standing mirror, which is just balancing on the floor. Not only does that make the room look bigger, but it also hides all of the plug sockets. Behind there is my Wi-Fi box. I've got a TV bracket behind there. Everything's covered, and I've just got this lovely space. It also reflects the light from the windows. I then put another mirror up here, which when I first did that, a lot of people were very unsure as to why I was putting a mirror somewhere where I can't actually look in it myself. It's a bit too high for me to ever care about, you know, looking at my outfit or anything like that. But for me, having that mirror gradually higher up towards the window, it means that the light just transforms its way across the wall. Let me show you from a better angle actually. So when you come into the flat, you've got this mirror, it then raises to this mirror, and then it raises all the way up to the windows. And I just think it makes such a difference having that space with that focal point. And when the light comes in during golden hour and in the morning, it just looks so pretty. I also added this mirror here, again a little bit too high to have any purpose, but it matches the height of the ceiling in terms of where it is on the wall. It's the centerpiece of the wall, from the ceiling to the floor. And I just think it's really nice to have, again, just that moment to capture the light above my computer screen. I do spend most of my time at my desk. I added in a shelf as well. And this shelf, I've put a nice big print from Desenio in it. And then I've just added a few little cute things on top of the shelf. This is a floating shelf, so you can't really put too much on there in terms of weight, but I just think it looks really pretty having the odd thing that I use on a day-to-day there. And then I have another little mirror tucked behind my whale fin just to accentuate my whale fin. I added this chest of drawers. This is from Ikea. These are super, super cheap, as is my desk from Ikea as well. So because of my lifestyle, I personally decided that it was more important for me to have a desk area than it was for me to have a dining space. But this could of course be the space that you use for dining, but for me, I just sit at my desk and eat. I live by myself, so it's quite easy for me to do so. And I try and keep my desk area, and in fact the entire studio, clean at all times, but especially my desk area, so that I can use it as a double functioning piece of furniture. So I've got all of my documents in the top drawer, and they tend to go straight back in there as soon as I've used them. Right here is where I keep my suitcases. So they are simply covered with a piece of fabric. This is a piece of fabric that I just picked up from Shepherd's Bush. I just ordered 2 meters of this fabric and I draped it over like so. What I have is a Russian doll style effect for my suitcases. So my small suitcase is inside my medium-sized suitcase and they're both inside my large suitcase. And then I just covered them with a piece of fabric. It's a really handy trick if you've just got like a little nook somewhere that you can't quite fit in a piece of furniture, but you want to shove some stuff in. It might not necessarily be your suitcase, but just get a really pretty piece of fabric to cover it. I then have my houseplant, which has been with me ever since I moved in a really beautiful concrete style pot. I picked this up from Plant Warehouse in Shoreditch, one of my favourite places actually to buy plants, and I think it's so important to get green into your flat as soon as you can. I feel like adding a plant or having a fresh bunch of flowers or having any sort of nature inside such a small space is so important. I'm lucky that it fits here quite nicely, I think, but otherwise I would have put one on the shelf, or I would have found a way to hang one on the wall, or I would have done something, because it does make a house a home. When it comes to living in a small studio space, my top tip would be to make the bed the focal point and to really invest in a beautiful bedspread. I personally like textures over fancy and vibrant colours, so I've gone for a neutral colour palette, but all of the textures are involved. This bedspread is from Dorma. I've had it for years and I absolutely adore the fact that it has just a simple pattern. It makes the room look a lot more feminine as well, because it is quite a masculine space with all of the mod cons of the kitchen and of course having a desk right next to my bed as well. I then have a throw from Naadam, which is a cashmere throw. And for me, it is the focal point of the room. When you come into the room, that's what you see and that's what sets the tone in terms of the decor. And I think it is key to any small space. It's also super important to make the bed. As soon as you get up, it just makes the whole flat feel like a flat rather than a scruffy bedroom. When it comes to the bed as well, another absolute lifesaver tip, I guess, is to buy a bed that has storage underneath it. It's probably the most important piece of furniture in the entirety of your flat. You can fit so much underneath one of these beds. I actually haven't maximised it to its full capacity because I'm a bit of a girly girl and I like having all of my shoes on display. I've also got my handbags under here, and then I've got larger boots, I've got my bigger coats, I've got my camera equipment, my drone, I've got my rucksack, I've got spare towels underneath there, my hiking boots. Just so handy. So that is an absolute must. If your landlord doesn't have one of these beds, I actually think it is worth buying your own bed to replace theirs, just because it will save you so much room. At the end of my bed, I also have some mirrored drawers. Having mirrored furniture in a studio is so handy because it makes the room look nice and big. These, I have all of my camera equipment, my hair tools, and some extra computer and work bits and bobs as well. And then I have these 2 metallic stools, which I absolutely love. I don't know where I got them from, but I'll try and link something similar if I can find it. But those do actually act as real stools. So if I have anyone over, I sit there and eat, and they sit on my desk and eat. Very cozy, but functional and super handy. Also, they're hollow, so I have things hidden underneath them for extra storage. When it comes to the wardrobe, I was super lucky. This flat has crazy high ceilings, so my wardrobe is more than big enough for everything that I would need. But this is how I store my items. So I've got mainly just anything that is too thick and bulky to put into my drawers. Hats, I've got my rucksack there. I fold all of my jeans and my trousers, and they're just behind each other. These little Ikea, what are they called, drawer inserts, are super handy. Those are all of my bikinis in there. And then I've just got all of my shoes that I don't want to be pulling up the bed for every time, some more like my everyday shoes and my trainers. There is additional space above as well, which is super handy. I've just got some extra bedding in there, my beach bags, but again, you could use that for anything. That was pure luck though, because of the height of the ceilings in this flat, that I managed to fit absolutely everything I need in terms of clothes, handbags and shoes. So that's my bed space. We're going to move now into the kitchen. So this is my kitchen space. I have 3 frames on the wall. I think they make all of the difference of making it feel like a home once again. They were drilled in, so I will just cover them up when I leave, but I think they look beautiful. This is actually a picture of me in the Seychelles. My friend Amy took it for me, so I got that printed. This one I bought years ago from Fishballs, and this Kate Moss is actually from John Lewis. Again, I bought that years ago. So this is my kitchen space. I've got my food cupboard, I've got my fridge. Here is where I keep my dining sets. And a tip for living in a studio is just get 2 of everything. You don't need more than 2 of any item. I'm obsessed with my dining set. This is from Denby. So I've just got 2 pasta bowls, 2 small plates, 2 large plates, 2 soup bowls, and then 2 mugs. And that's all I need in terms of crockery. Then I've got my knives and forks, cutlery, and then I've got my pots and pans and everything. This is an induction cooker. It's got 2 spots, which is super handy, and the great thing is it's flat, so I do store my coffee, my water bottle, and some condiments there as well. And then the extractor is built in. Super handy. Just get a two-piece toaster. I think that one's quite self-explanatory if you're using a small space. And then I've got my kettle. The sink I keep super tidy. Of course there's no dishwasher in a small space like this, so I've got this draining rack which I bought from Ikea, and then I've got this is also from Ikea, this draining rack, so I'll put my cutlery in here, and I'll wash up in the sink and just drain it in the sink. But if there's something in the sink, you know, if there's too much, then I will drain it here on a tea towel, which is just super easy. My bin and all my cleaning products are in here, and this is my washer and dryer. So that's the kitchen. And now we move on to the bathroom. Hi. Okay, so I have so many products. This is in my shower. I bought this from Tesco's actually, and it just hooks on. Super handy, fits everything I need in the shower. I then have another metal holder for all of my products. I have lots. I then have a basket underneath which I put my spare toilet rolls in, a couple of extra towels and things that I don't use that often, so my suntan lotions and whatnot. And this was from John Lewis, as was this. And then I bought this from Zara, which I think is, oh my goodness, like the handiest little washing basket ever. It's tiny and it just slots in perfectly. And then I have more products, of course, in my drawers. On my sink I have these 2. I got them from Home Bargains, I think, actually, when I went up to see my mum in Grantham. Need to clean my toothbrush, yep, noted. Some shells that I bought back from Mauritius, and then this was actually a candle that my friend bought for me, but I took out the wick and all of the extra wax and I turned it into a nice little cosmetics pad holder. So that's my bathroom. Oh, and then I've got a hook on the back of the wall for my towels. I also have a heated towel rack where I put my towels on. I like to leave the top one free. I just think it looks quite smart. My towels are from John Lewis. I love the theme of them, or the design of them rather, and they've got like a yellow trim on. Love them. I've got a bit of hair dye though on a couple, so I need to try and find them again. I'll link them if I find them. So there you have it, my flat tour, some tips and tricks about how to make it your own as well. The funny thing is I'm actually moving out. This is a set of boxes I'm ready to pack. I'm moving out in 2 days, so by the time this video will be uploaded, I will no longer live here. But I wanted to share this video because when I first moved here, I was really umming and ahhing about whether or not the space would be big enough for everything I have, moving into a tiny studio. And I was wondering, do I, you know, move into a flat share or do I move into a studio? Both were similar sort of prices actually, but this is of course a smaller space. So I really wanted a video of somebody living in a space this size and how they've made it their own and where they put all of their stuff. So I hope that it's helped if that's the case for any of you guys watching. We won't be adventuring again for some time, I know, but I hope to see you back here on my channel soon. Thanks for watching.